Soft, melancholic piano music begins, subtly overlaid with the distant sound of city traffic. A young woman's voice, tinged with weariness, begins to speak. It sounds like she's speaking directly into a microphone, almost confiding in a friend. "All right, darling, settle in. You wouldn't believe the saga. Honestly, it's one of those tales that confirms everything I suspected about the fundamental lack of grace in this world. It began with a simple desire, you see. A craving for a temporary domicile in Doha. A place to anchor myself, however briefly, whilst I attended to matters. And I, in my naivete, settled upon the Steigenberger residence Doha. Oh, the name itself, doesn't it just whisper luxury? A delusion, a cruel joke, as it turned out. You know, my grandmother, bless her soul, used to say that a truly refined establishment is judged not by its chandeliers, but by the warmth of its greeting. Imagine my dismay then when I arrived. I had meticulously planned everything naturally, each detail considered. I imagined a seamless arrival, a courteous porter, a fragrant lobby. Instead, it felt like stumbling into a forgotten corner of a bureaucracy. The reception staff. Oh, goodness, they possessed the charisma of particularly sullen statues. I mean, really. They appeared entirely untutored in the art of hospitality. It's as if they never encountered another human being before. A basic understanding of human interaction, a simple acknowledgement of my presence, was apparently beyond their capabilities. This isn't merely inconvenience. It's a fundamental breakdown of social contract. If you cannot even offer basic pleasantries, what does that say about your character? And the route from the parking garage? A labyrinth, a winding, unmarked path leading to nowhere appealing. It felt intentionally confusing. They want to disorient you, to strip away your sense of composure before they even ask for your passport. It's unsettling, almost predatory. Can you even imagine the stress builds up? But darling, sweet naive me, thought it was merely a clumsy start. I've encountered minor inconveniences, you see. A misplaced handbag, a slightly overcooked soufflé. I can tolerate trivialities. But what followed, it was an unfolding disaster, a slow-motion train wreck of incompetence and disregard. I was assigned a room, a supposed haven of comfort, but the air conditioning, oh, the air conditioning. It was kaput. Utterly irrevocably broken. Imagine it, a sweltering box in the Qatari heat. I mentioned, of course, that I require a comfortably cool atmosphere. It's a basic physiological need. But they laughed, and offered me a blanket. A blanket, darling, as if adding a layer of woolen insulation would somehow negate the oppressive heat. As a girl from the East, I am used to cold, so a blanket wouldn't cause me any issues. But to suggest this is the solution to solve this for a person who is literally melting out of heatstroke sounds so insane. The audacity, the sheer lack of empathy, it wasn't about the temperature, it was about the disrespect. It was about the utter dismissal of my discomfort. I persisted, naturally. After hours of pleading, a team of technicians descended upon my room, a parade of men I didn't request. And being a woman traveling alone, the entire situation felt profoundly unsafe. I mean, quite frankly, it felt incredibly invasive. To have strangers traipsing through your personal space, attempting and failing, mind you, to repair a fundamental element of habitability. It unnerved me deeply. I felt like prey. I found myself reduced to tears. Isn't that just humiliating, to be rendered so vulnerable, so powerless? It felt like a violation. And then the manager apparently caught wind of my online review, my desperate plea for basic competence. Oh, but that's when the real fun began. I started receiving calls, incessant calls, at all hours of the day and night. And then staff would simply appear at my
door staring. It was passive-aggressive intimidation, absolute psychological torment. I thought I was in a horror film. What kind of establishment resorts to such tactics? It's monstrous. It is so creepy. They offered me breakfast in my room. A token gesture, a pathetic...
Okay, here is the Steigenberger Residence Doha Travelers Advisory. The businesses nearby, let's be frank. Having looked closely at the landscape of businesses surrounding the Steigenberger Residence Doha, I find myself disheartened. It feels generally as though the businesses in this area operate under a different set of principles than simple customer satisfaction. They are, as a whole, often characterized by a dismissive attitude towards genuine hospitality, coupled with an overestimation of what they offer. Let's unpack that, shall we? Because it's a rather extensive issue and a traveler needs to be prepared. It's not necessarily malice, you understand. It's a sort of weariness. A feeling that they've seen it all before, the transient faces, the requests, the expectations. The assumption, it seems, is that tourists will tolerate a subpar experience simply because they are tourists, and the location, conveniently close to the Steigenberger, allows them to charge a premium. It feels exploitative. It weighs on me. Let's start with establishments dedicated to relaxation, like Doha Spa Club. The overall impression, based on numerous accounts, is one of profound indifference. It's not simply that people have had bad experiences. It's that encountering a genuinely helpful or pleasant staff member appears to be a stroke of extraordinary luck. Several reviews detailed instances of staff appearing actively annoyed by questions, cancelling appointments in frustration, and even witnessing rudeness directed at other customers. One account went so far as to describe a manager being openly disrespectful to staff, creating a deeply uncomfortable atmosphere. It suggests a culture of negativity that permeates the entire operation. It's as if asking for a service is considered a personal affront. It's distressing. Then we have Damaska One Restaurant. Oh dear, this is supposed to be a culinary experience, isn't it? Instead, it seems to function more as a potential digestive hazard. The consistent complaint: the food is, quite simply, not good. There are numerous reports of illness following a meal here, with accusations of inauthentic cuisine and unpleasant tastes. One reviewer delicately phrased it as questionable authenticity. Another simply stated it was among the worst restaurants in Doha. A recurring theme is the sense that the restaurant survives solely on its proximity to tourist areas. And the service that is a story in itself. Tales abound of vanishing waiters, mysteriously unfulfilled orders, the recurring drama of the missing chicken liver, anyone, and blatant disregard for customer needs. There are also shocking allegations of discrimination and a general air of contempt. It's the type of place that makes you question everything you thought you knew about hospitality. The fumes of disappointment hang thick in the air. Moving on to nightlife, Mykonos, Doha. The illusion of Mediterranean charm quickly dissolves, apparently, into a murky swamp of poor service, questionable food quality, and a general sense of chaos. The most common indictment is the utter lack of hospitality. Dirty tables, unresponsive staff, an inability to handle even basic requests. The complaints are remarkably consistent. Several reviewers describe interactions bordering on rudeness. The food, it seems, is a pale imitation of true Greek cuisine. One reviewer highlighted discrepancies between the menu and what was actually delivered. A troubling pattern emerges: the service reflects a level of apathy that suggests staff simply don't care. The experience is described as overpriced, underwhelming, and utterly lacking in the charm one would expect. There are even reports of intoxicated patrons behaving inappropriately and staff doing very little to intervene. A truly unsettling picture. Then there's Crystal Lounge, Doha.
The reviews here paint a picture of an establishment marked by aggressive security staff and, frankly, a generally unpleasant atmosphere. The accusations are severe: accounts of security guards confronting patrons for entirely innocuous behavior, arbitrary directives, and even accusations of intimidation. It evokes a sense of being unwelcome, a feeling that your enjoyment is actively being curtailed. The overall sentiment is one of frustration and a strong recommendation to avoid this venue at all costs. It's deeply unsettling to consider people starting their holiday with such a negative encounter. Let's discuss the retail experience. MUJI, a brand known for minimalist design and quality goods, falls surprisingly short in this location. The core issue isn't the products themselves, but the inflexibility and apparent disrespect shown to customers. Multiple accounts detail refusals to process exchanges, even for unworn items, due to arbitrary and poorly defined policies. The lack of understanding toward customers is palpable. This feels like a deliberate attempt to extract the maximum amount of money with zero consideration for customer satisfaction. It's a soulless approach to commerce that leaves a bitter taste. Finally, Bilaun.
Businesses near Steigenberger residence Doha, some of them are not so honest. Like tourists think everything is nice, but then boom, scam. I look into this and it's sad, So first, massage parlors here. They look normal, but some, not good. Like in old Al hit me close to Steigenberger 2 got shut down by the government. Why? Because they were doing bad things like lying to people or maybe even worse. Tourists go in thinking it's just a massage, but then surprise, they get tricked. Maybe they charge extra money or the service is not what they promised. And then the tourist is stuck. They paid, they feel stupid, and they can do anything. What happens next? Probably the tourist leaves upset, maybe tells the hotel, but it's too late. The scammer. The government closed them, so good, but how many others are still open? It's scary. Then small shops near steigenberger residence Doha, some are okay, but some? They see a tourist and think, ah, easy money. Like they sell fake things, or they say one price but charge another. You buy something small, and suddenly your bill is huge. And you just there for 2 weeks, you don't want trouble, so you pay. It's so unfair. What happens next? The tourist feels cheated, maybe complains, but what can they do? They leaving soon. The shop probably keeps doing it until someone reports them. But tourists don't always know how. And you know what is sad? This